Greetings, Earthers. I am Darth Vader. I have heard about this so-called lightsaber tutorial. Did you really think it'll be complete? I think not. It would seem that you and these heroes have forgotten who also develops a lightsaber form. Juyo. I also heard that someone won the presidential election of 2024. If it was this Kamala Harris, good. If Trump, go fuck yourself. Now, without farther ado, let us start on the 7th, and to Jedi, the forbidden lightsaber Form 7 of combat. Juyo. Form 7, known by its two primary disciplines of Juyo and Vaapad, and also known as the Ferocity form, was the 7th form of lightsaber combat. It was considered the most aggressive and unpredictable form. Both Mace Windu and Depa Billaba were the only known masters of the Vaapad variant in the Jedi Order that hadn't fallen to the dark side of the Force. However, the latter Jedi Masters mainly used Form 3 in close quarters combat. The Juyo variant was prevalent among dark side adepts to Sith Lords, such as Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, Darth Malgus, the Grand Inquisitor, Kylo Ren, and yours truly, Darth Vader. Although Juyo was designated Form 7, had gone through its development, which began over a millennia before it was formalized. In fact, Juyo likely originated in techniques rejected from Shicho in the earliest days of the Jedi Order, techniques considered too aggressive and dangerous. In the long centuries following, the methods that would come to constitute Juyo were sometimes practiced openly, sometimes in secret. Eventually, the Ferocity form gained recognition by the Jedi High Council, only to be banned little more than a century later, because it is considered to be a dark side form.
Juyo was an intensely aggressive form, even more so than Form 4. What truly differentiated it from other lightsaber forms was the emotional state it fostered and even required. Form 7 was known as the Ferocity form, with good reason. Not only did Juyo utilize a highly aggressive offense, but it required the practitioner to actively draw upon their anger and negative emotions to fuel the relentless assault.
Glad to have you here, Maul.
You are not the only one who uses Juyo, Lord Vader. There are others I have brought that would like to explain as well.
Very well. Please continue.
Unsurprisingly, Form 7 was controversial from its inception, and many saw its practice as a fundamental violation of the Jedi Code's strictures against passion and chaos. It is likely that the Jedi Council recognized the form only because of the desperate nature of the time in which it arose. During a resurgence of the Sith approximately 4,000 years before the Clone Wars.
Through many reasons, the Jedi feared its form for centuries, even to modern realm we live in now. For decades, Juyo saw significant use among the Jedi and their ancient enemies as the two orders of Force users battled it out. Yet, by the end of this great war against the Sith, many Jedi who practiced Form 7 had fallen to the dark side or come perilously close. In the aftermath of the conflict with the Reckoning Clear, the Jedi Council forbade the study of Juyo, and over the following millennia, this prohibition gradually relaxed to an extent. Still, Form 7 would never again be practiced by Jedi, save those who received express permission from the Council or who defied the Council's will.
To maintain the onslaught of Form 7 without exhausting oneself, giving the enemy an opening, or sacrificing accuracy. A Form 7 practitioner had to channel the Force with every movement and strike. This focus was essentially what makes Juyo so dangerous to the enemy, or my favorite against on Jedi. But it also posed a danger to the warrior, because Form 7 drew on a negative emotional state, and drawing so heavily and continuously on the Force brought the practitioner perilously close to the dark side of the Force. I, General Grievous, may be a Makashi wielder, but I too use Juyo into my strikes on the Jedi whenever I get more angrier.
I didn't know you can use Juyo into your Makashi form, Grievous.
I didn't remember ever teaching you Juyo to you, General.
I went to Korriban where I studied on Juyo, which made me an even more better on killing Jedi on my free time count.
I'm sure Lord Sidious would approve of that if he was still here. Speaking of which, there was a time during the Old Republic on which there were over thousands and thousands of Sith back then. However, the Sith drew so much on gaining more power that betray and destroy one and another, until Darth Bane was the last Sith left. Learning from a holocron of Darth Revan that the Sith of old will always destroy each other. Henceforth Darth Bane made the rule of two. In Bane's words, two there should be. No more, no less. One to embody power, the other to crave it.
A millennium ago, the Sith and Jedi were nearly equal in number. But unchecked ambition and infighting turned our order against itself. Weakened by their own hand, the Sith were nearly wiped from existence by the opportunistic Jedi. But there was a Sith Lord who survived the culling, the great Darth Bane. It was he who reshaped the Sith by creating a new hierarchy to ensure the survival of our order. The rule of two.
Lord Sidious?
Oh no.
Master.
Here we go! Wipe out!
Master.
I am most impressed that have done well for yourself, for breaking the rule of two. You all have not yet destroyed, one or the other.
Yes, Master. We have come to an understanding by sharing the power of the dark side to only the most strongest. No one else. No more. No less. My master.
Master.
My master.
It would seem that you have not broken rule of two after all, Lord Vader, but bend it to only a select few.
Yes, my master.
Very well, on with this tutorial. Form 7, also known as Juyo, the Way of the Vornsker, or the Ferocity form, was the seventh of the 7 forms recognized for lightsaber combat by the last Jedi Council of the Old Jedi Order, and even to the Sith. In use over a millennia before the Battle of Yavin, the Juyo incarnation of Form 7 was described as the most vicious form of lightsaber combat, and was said to involve a significant internal focus on the part of the user. Juyo had many practitioners throughout the years, such as myself. Juyo consists of lightning-fast attacks, misleading strikes, brutal methods, and hand-to-hand combat. To Jedi it was banned due to its reliance of the dark side. Which is what I like of its form. It did aid me on killing Jedi during the Sith's hiding days. But one Sith and Star Wars acolyte I actually like is Chimere. Chimere is to a Sith who followed the rule of two. But instead of facing the Jedi face-on, unlike most traditional Sith, Chimere uses dirty tactics while using his own style of lightsaber combat, Juyo and Makashi. Juyo is the most difficult and demanding of all 7 forms. Juyo is raw and unpredictable, which is supposed to be difficult due to its sheer power and the seeming randomness of its swing. Only a few Jedi and Sith can master its form without giving too much into the dark side without losing control. Something you could have learned if you weren't so impatient, Vader.
I have changed since that fight on Mustafar, Master.
So it seems, Vader.
Because the Jedi had never fought a Sith or other rogue lightsaber wielders for centuries during the High Republic, and their pitiful youngling exercise like these twerps in young Jedi adventures. Tabor may be a good duelist, but he's no Sith. Kai, Liss, and Nubs had never fight even a single Sith Lord throughout the series. Damn you, Disney kids.
After over a millennium through Plagueis, I have took on Maul as my assassin and trained him in Juyo, which proved effective against Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. But not even Maul was strong enough to beat Obi-Wan.
Kenobi got lucky back then. Don't stay on my account, we'll be fine.
After the Jedi fell on Order 66, I have let Vader train himself all over again, and even implied Juyo into his Makashi Gemso combination, which prove effective against Jedi. Throughout centuries of strife against the Jedi, Juyo has always been the most favorite form of lightsaber combat. But only Mace Windu made a different version called Vaapad, which is a refined form of the Juyo form to address the weakness by controlling the inner darkness and channeling it into worthy ends. For this purpose, Windu refined advances from the preceding centuries and in the minds of some finally perfected Form 7 as a true lightsaber form, in line with the tenets of the Jedi Code. Distasteful indeed. My time has come to an end, should you need me again. I will always dwell in the dark side.
Goodbye, Master. Guess that wraps things up with Juyo and Vaapad. I hope those who have anger problem can use that anger into this form and against your enemies that you hate so much.
Hate to rush things, boys, but we better get out of here before Bulkhead finds out we're here.
Ventress is right. Time to leave, gentlemen.
Wait for me, Count!
Later, losers.
I hate to admit, but I think we villains do have parts into this long neck Prime channel. So do help this channel out. If you want to see more of us battle things out with Team Prime and the Jedi. Goodbye and farewell.